Hollywood wants you to believe that tank warfare was about massive guns penetrating thick armor in dramatic duels between steel giants. Military historians focus on anti-tank weapons and armor-piercing rounds. But one of the most important confrontations of World War II happened when Germany's most feared infantry weapon met America's most common armored vehicle. The MG-42 machine gun versus Sherman tank armor wasn't just a tactical encounter. It was a collision between two completely different philosophies of warfare that revealed the brutal mathematics of modern combat. Let's shatter the biggest myth right now. The MG-42 couldn't penetrate Sherman tank armor. Not even close. Standard German machine gun ammunition bounced harmlessly off Sherman frontal armor, creating nothing more than scratches and sparks. But here's the shocking reality that American tank crews discovered in Normandy hedgerows. The MG-42 didn't need to penetrate armor to completely neutralize Sherman tank effectiveness. This wasn't about armor penetration. This was about tactical mathematics that redefined armored warfare. A single MG-42 position could fire 1,200 rounds per minute in sustained bursts. Sherman tanks required infantry support to operate effectively in close terrain. But MG-42 fire made infantry support impossible, turning every Sherman advance into a lone tank operating without protection in enemy territory. But here's where it gets interesting. The weapon that actually stopped Sherman tank advances wasn't the machine gun itself. It was the tactical doctrine it enabled. German infantry learned to use MG-42 positions to separate tanks from their supporting infantry, then attack the isolated Shermans with close-range anti-tank weapons. The machine gun had become the key component in a killing system designed specifically to exploit American combined arms tactics. A Sherman tank commander from the 4th Armored Division captured the tactical horror perfectly. The 42 couldn't hurt our tank directly, but it killed every infantryman trying to support us. We'd roll into a village and get pinned down by machine gun fire that our main gun couldn't suppress. Sitting ducks, waiting for German bazooka teams to close in and finish the job. The brutal mathematics of this tactical confrontation were staggering. Sherman tanks, supported by infantry, had combat effectiveness rates of 85% in urban fighting. Shermans operating without infantry support dropped to 32% effectiveness. The MG-42 hadn't penetrated Sherman armor. It had penetrated American tactical doctrine and rendered it nearly useless. Now, let's talk about the tactical innovation that actually changed tank warfare. The concept of infantry suppression as anti-armor tactics. German forces discovered that neutralizing tank-supporting infantry was more effective than trying to destroy the tanks themselves. The MG-42's rate of fire could pin down entire infantry companies, leaving Sherman tanks tactically blind and vulnerable to coordinated attacks. The psychological impact was devastating for American tank crews. Sherman armor could protect them from machine gun fire, but it couldn't protect their mission effectiveness. Tank commanders reported feeling helpless while watching their infantry support get pinned down by weapons they couldn't effectively engage. Armor superiority became meaningless when tactical isolation made tanks sitting targets. But perhaps the most revolutionary aspect was how this confrontation forced American tactical evolution. Sherman tank units developed new techniques specifically to counter MG-42 positions. Coordinated smoke screens, indirect fire support, and specialized infantry tank communication systems. The machine gun had forced American armored doctrine to completely rethink how tanks and infantry operated together. German tactical manuals emphasize this asymmetric approach. The American Sherman cannot be stopped by small arms fire, but it can be isolated through suppression of supporting infantry. Use MG-42 positions to create tank-infantry separation, then exploit with anti-tank weapons. One machine gun had enabled an entire tactical system designed to defeat superior armored forces. The final darkest truth about this tactical confrontation? It proved that armor protection was meaningless without tactical integration. The Sherman's thick frontal armor meant nothing when MG-42 fire prevented effective infantry tank coordination. American industrial superiority in tank production became irrelevant when German machine guns could neutralize tank effectiveness through tactical isolation. A German infantry officer captured the strategic significance. We learned that destroying American tanks was less important than making them ineffective. The MG-42 could achieve tactical victory without armor penetration by simply preventing the Americans from using their tanks properly. Why destroy what you can neutralize? Here's the brutal mathematics that redefined armored warfare. The MG-42 proved that weapons didn't need to physically destroy enemy equipment to achieve tactical dominance. By targeting the tactical system rather than individual vehicles, machine gun fire could render entire armored formations ineffective despite maintaining perfect mechanical condition. American armored doctrine was fundamentally revised based on lessons learned from MG-42 encounters. Post-war tank training emphasized integrated operations, suppressive fire coordination, and infantry armor communication systems specifically designed to maintain tactical cohesion under intense small arms fire. The machine gun had forced a complete rethinking of how armored forces operated in combined arms warfare. An American armored commander summed up the revolutionary impact. Before facing German machine gun positions, we thought tank armor was about stopping enemy projectiles. After fighting in Normandy, we learned that armor protection means nothing if you can't coordinate with supporting forces. The MG-42 taught us that tactical isolation kills tanks just as effectively as armor-piercing rounds. Modern combined arms doctrine, from infantry fighting vehicles to coordinated fire support to integrated communication systems, all trace their tactical roots to lessons learned from Sherman tanks operating against MG-42 positions. The confrontation didn't just show how different weapons interacted. It revealed that warfare is fundamentally about systems competing against systems, where tactical integration matters more than individual weapon superiority, and where the most effective anti-armor weapon might not be designed to destroy armor at all.